Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman and today we are doing a really fun look. This is like a daytime afternoon party look where you're pulling out some of those pieces from the festive new year and festive holiday season. You want to wear them again because you're getting together with family and friends, and what do you do with your face? This is a great look. So keep watching if you want to learn how to get this look. As always, I have prepped my skin and now we're ready to go in with any discoloration, correction, or just anything that I want to kind of take down. So I'm taking my eyeshadow primer that is tinted from NARS, taking it from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone. And make sure, so quite a lot comes out on the doe foot applicator, so I always like to put it on my finger and apply it to the skin, because if you just take it straight from the doe foot applicator, you're going to get a lot, and if you have too much silicone on your eyelids, then that is really going to mess with your eyeshadow application, and sometimes it can also create creases throughout the day, which is not what we want. So that is all the correcting I'm going to do. I'm going to do my Rock and Kohl Bedroom Black by Charlotte Tilbury tight lining. We're not doing anything crazy on the eyes today, but it's still a really great thing to do. It just really amps up that lash line. And just like with a regular liner, you just want to do little dashes, especially when you're working with something like the Charlotte Tilbury pencil or the BOBBI Brun gel pencil. Like, it really wants to stick and stay. So, you know, it's kind of a sensitive part of your eye, so just take your time and let it happen. All right, now we are ready for the complexion. I'm going to do complexion first because, again, I'm not doing anything crazy on the eyes. So we're going to go in with a little bit of concealer. This is the GIORGIO ARMANI Luminous Silk in 4.5. I think this color just makes so much more sense on my skin tone. I think the 4 is more yellow, which is awesome because I definitely have yellow undertones in my skin, but the 4.5 I think is just a better match for me. I kind of want to try the number 5 as well, but we'll save that for another day. So I'm just bouncing my brush, getting the coverage that I want. When you bounce, you get more coverage, and then when you do motions like this where you're kind of sweeping away, you kind of take that coverage away. So then I'm going to take my finger and just tap in any excess that might still be on the skin. You can always go back in with another light layer if you need to after your eyes are done. So now we'll go in with the Luminous Silk Foundation, also in the 4.5. I have a dot on my hand, and then I dotted on my cheeks because that's where I get a little bit of redness. So you always want to place your foundation where you have the most discoloration or something that you want to take down. If I did have any little spots or pimples or anything that I wanted to conceal, then I would do that first, and then I would go on with my foundation. I was watching a ELDRIDGE tutorial the other day, and I thought that was a really good reminder. She is so into concealing first with a heavier concealer and then going in with a lighter foundation so that your skin can peek through. And I am 100% about that, because you really do want your skin to shine through. So I don't think you will ever see me wear a full coverage foundation unless it is for something very specific a very specific like character look that I'm doing or something like that, because a medium coverage is plenty when you can take care of your skin. And I just feel like foundation it's not supposed to cover up your skin, it's supposed to enhance it and just blend everything together. Okay, now the top that I'm wearing is a little bit lower, so we definitely want to make sure that we're bringing down a little bit of that foundation down on the neck. Again, don't go too crazy with this. This is not like you need a full pump here. This is just whatever extra is on your brush. All right, we're done with that. We're going to add a little bit of our Elevated Highlighter by Lisa Eldridge, because we're going out. We're feeling good. We need a little glow. And I definitely need to reorder that soon. Lots of patting motions. With this highlighter, I'm definitely doing more patting motions than sweeping motions. And then again, just kind of pulling at the edges, making sure that they're nice and blended in. Again, you can always go back in with your fingers, tap that in, pick up any excess that might be sitting on the skin. The point is to look naturally dewy, not like my jacket, okay? All right, skin is done except for all the extra stuff, so we're gonna pop on to the eyes, and I'm gonna take my 201 BK Beauty brush. Oh, let me show you the colors that we're using. So again, a very simple palette. These are my brow colors, Sandstone and Brun, and then we have this quad of shadows. We have Shroom. Oops, there goes Shroom. I always forget what this one's called. This is Yes to Sequins. How appropriate. We have Wedge and we have Kid. So Shroom is going to go all over the lid, and Wedge and Kid are going to be my crease colors, and Yes to Sequins is going to be that really fun pop on the ball of my eye. So 201 going in with Kid, just really saturating the top of that brush. Starting in the outer corner, sweeping it onto the lid, and then bringing up any excess into that crease area. This brush is tapered, so it wants to do the work for you. Let it do the work for you. Finding that separation between my eye and the rest of my face and my brow bone. And going between windshield wiper motions and circles. Windshield wipers, like this motion, is going to give you kind of a wash of color, whereas circles is going to blend out any edges that you have. Kid is such a great kind of pinky brown, so if you have green or hazel eyes, so good. Or if you're wearing something with a little bit of pink in there. My jacket is interesting because it's kind of a champagne, so it has gold and silver in there, and the sequins themselves are silver, so you can definitely play either way. Always take into account what you are wearing that day, because it really does make a difference when everything is nice and cohesive. Okay, I'm going to take my 203 brush from BK Beauty. I'm going to tap into Shroom and put that all over the lid. This is such a pretty color. This is a really good color for that little spot on the inner corner of your eye too. So we'll do that as well. And I'm not really trying to cover up Kid, especially in that outer third. I'm just trying to get a little bit of shimmer on my lid and in my inner corner. Okay, so as always, you can stop here. You don't have to go in with the extra things, but we are totally going in with the extra things. I'm going to take a 217 and I'm going to go in with Wedge. Wedge is just a little bit more brown than Kid. It doesn't really have those pinky tones. And we're just going to amp that up. My jacket is definitely the hero of my look. So I don't want to take away from the jacket. I'm not, I'm not doing a photo shoot. I'm not doing anything. I'm just meeting up with family and friends for this event. And I'm feeling a little festive and like I needed a little sequin. So we're just kind of amping up that outer third with Wedge. So pretty. You can also take a little bit extra on your 217, especially because we've already done our concealer. And just very gently put that under your lower lash line. And this just creates more of a cohesive eye. And it just gives a little bit more like sultriness, smokiness to your entire look. Now I'm going to take my finger and do Sequins, and I'm just going to gently place that on the ball of my eye. The Sequins is one of those really cool colors that has a lot of space in between the pigments and the shimmers. So it's just kind of that extra top coat that you're putting over your look that you have already. And the look that you have already is going to shine through. And then when you put the Sequins on top, it just adds a little extra dimension and makes your look more three-dimensional. So now we're going to go in with a liner. I am wearing black pants, so I could definitely do a black liner, but the event that I'm going to is during the morning and during the day, so for me, I think I would feel a little bit more comfortable with going in with my chocolate shimmer gel liner. So that is what we're going to do with the angled brush. And we're just going to follow our lower lash line for a little bit of a kitten wing. And getting right up to that lash line. No gaps. Just doing little dashes. I love this brush for if you have a bigger lid. It just gets the job done faster because it's a bigger brush. And I also feel that because it is a little bit thicker, it blends out your liner. It softens it a little bit more. Doing the same thing on the other side. Just little dashes right up against that lash line, creating that illusion that your lashes are a little bit thicker than they are. Also defining the eye a little bit more. So if there are going to be pictures, or maybe you wear glasses, using a liner is really to your advantage. It's going to help the camera know where your eyes are, because cameras really like contrast. In makeup especially, that's usually why if you are getting your photos taken, it's a good idea to amp up your makeup, because otherwise it's just going to get lost if you're doing a really basic natural makeup look. Now we're going to go in with our primer because the eyes are done. Using all parts of our brush to really coat the lashes. This is from DIOR, my favorite primer that I've tried. Normally I don't like a wand like this where it's really silicone-y, but they've made their brush like a nylon brush. And those are my favorite. All right, going in with Smokey Eye Mascara, another of my faves, the one that I've used since the beginning. And also using the entire wand to get the separation and to also get the volume. Whoops. Okay, this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen sometimes. I'm gonna let that dry down. And then I'm gonna take it off with either my my NARS primer, or it's just gonna wipe away. It's not a big deal. It happens sometimes. Getting right into those roots. Doing a little bit on my lower lashes as well. And then just seeing if I want to amp up any spots. Okay, let's deal with this little blob. First of all, not only is this an amazing eyeshadow primer, but it's also an amazing makeup eraser. So I just have a very teeny tiny little bit that I'm going to take. It's just packed with silicone. So it just kind of melts stuff away. I don't know, it's amazing. Although the Bobbi Brown is pretty intense, so we might, oh, there we go. All gone. And no damage done to your makeup. If you felt like you needed to go back in with a little bit of your concealer, feel free. Just to touch up. We haven't powdered, so not a big deal. But usually when something like that happens, you don't have to start from scratch, which is so nice. You just need something super silicone-y. So you could even try a facial primer if you use one of those. Now I'm going to do my brows. So going into Sandstone and Brun, finding any gaps that I have. And I like to have a darker brow on the outer half. I think that really works and mimics a natural brow much better than being all one color all the way through. And then just picking up Sandstone, because I do have a pretty big gap right here. And just tapping and pulling through my brows to fill in any gaps. Okay, now we're just going to powder. So I'm going to use my BK Beauty Precision Brush. Take down any of that shine through the center of the face. It is still quite cold and quite dry, so I'm only going to do the center of the face. As the weather starts to warm up, I will probably powder a little bit more, but when it is dry, just through the center. That's also where I get maybe just a little bit oily, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit on my nose. So my nose definitely needs a little help. We're going to take the bronzer brush with NATASHA DENONA. Give us a little bit of color. Not spending a lot of time on this. Just giving a little bit of healthy glow to the skin. A little bit down your neck, especially because it is so exposed. And just whatever is left on the brush down here on your décolleté. And then taking a sweet enough blush on my blush and powder brush. You could absolutely use your bronzer brush if you have one like mine. That would be totally fine. This one's going to give you a little bit more coverage, or a little bit more product on the skin. Alright, that's looking really good. I'm going to put my lip on and then I'm going to decide. So we are going in with Kitten Mischief because, again, I don't want to compete with my eyes or with my jacket. Plus, I know I'm going to be eating, so I don't want to deal with a red lip. And I'm actually going to go in with Songbird. Just a little bit of that. Take my foundation brush, make sure everything's nice and blended and making sense. Zhuzhing the hair, as always. And that is the finished look. Right. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I think this is a really fun one, especially when we still have festive things going on in the new year, whether it's in January, February, March, whenever, and you want to pull out some of those pieces again and kind of mix and match them in new ways. But what do you do with your makeup? If you're not going to like a really fancy party, I like to keep the makeup really just beauty makeup and maybe add a little bit of shimmer on the eyes and do a nude lip, especially if you're going to be eating and drinking, so you don't have to worry about that. So thank you again for watching. I do beauty videos every Friday. I do fashion videos every Wednesday. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!